Should I start?
Yeah.
Okay. So good morning, everyone, and nice to meet you. And I hope my presentation will not be boring after the excellent presentation of Kawaguchi Sensei. So today I'm just going to introduce about information management with recommendation systems and ChatGPT. My name is Prof.Hamada. I'm affiliated with University of Aizu. And I welcome you to the International Conference in Careers and Applied Science. So let me start my, sorry. Okay, so this is the contents of my presentation today. I will just give a short introduction and followed by introduction to recommendation system and some results and some future research direction and finally conclusion of the presentation. So as you know, artificial intelligence and the application of machine learning now dominates our life. So from social media to mobile face recognition, speech recognition, such as, Google Translate and so on, navigations, emails like spam filtering, fraud detection, like in banking systems, stock and weather forecast prediction, healthcare recommendations, chatbots, and virtual assistant, autopilot car and suggestion for products, and a lot of other applications that dominates our life now. So based on this, I just draw this one. This picture make any sense for any of you?
How do you manage so much information?
Yeah, in fact, that's right. So these two pictures reflect, I can say, a specific part in my life. This is in my early career or student life when a lack of information. At that time, I have problem to find a paper or to find a textbook or something. I have to visit many libraries or visit many universities to search for just find a paper or find some, textbook or something to study. It was a big problem for me at that time. Now the opposite problem. Now you have a lot of information, but how to extract the suitable one for you? This has become also a problem. So I will just drop this problem because now this is a past problem. I will just look to this problem now. So the problem now is we have a lot of information that, comes from many different resources. So I can summarize here 4 issues related to the data, like we have a rapid growth of internet and the digital technology. So this means access to vast amount of information has become easier than ever. So this makes it challenging to filter out relevant and reliable information. This is one of the problems. The second one, the speed at which new information is produced, so has significantly increased, making also difficult for individual or organizations to stay updated and efficiently process incoming data. Also complexity. So the complexity of information has also grown. And with multiple sources presenting data in various formats, making it challenging to analyze this information efficiently. Also ambiguity. So we have information is available often leads to conflicting or contradictory, meaning. So this is the 4 issues that, affect the huge amount of information that we have. This is the 4 problems. So if I just talk about information management, it is about data, how to collect, organize, store, maintain, retrieve the data, security issues, government of the data, sharing data, data life cycle, and so on. So with this big, issues that related with data and information management, the most important or the primary goal is to analyze the data, because analysis of this data can give us improve the decision making of organizations and even individuals, and also enhances the efficiency of the running of organization and better collaboration with other organization or inside the organization itself among the departments if they have good management of information. Also, it is risk reduction and also competitive advantages over other organizations. So this is looks good things, but we have a problem. These problems that I just mentioned because of these four issues of data, that is cause information overloading. Then, because of this information overloading, the data analysis is much affected by this one. So we look for solutions. So solutions can come from artificial intelligence models. So today I will just talk about two models, about recommendation system and the new models that just comes recently, that ChatGPT. But unfortunately, I don't have much research in this because, as I just mentioned, this is just a new. So I will just mention this shortly, but I will talk more about the recommendation system and its, its use in information overloading improvement problem. So let me look for ChatGPT. ChatGPT can be a valuable tool in addressing the information overloading problem. It's a natural language processing capabilities can summarize the techniques and conversational interface. So ChatGPT can help filter and summarize and personalize the information, improving the user experience and enabling more efficient information management in the face of information overloading. On the other hand, recommendation systems play a crucial role in addressing information overloading by offering personalized and relevant suggestions to users, allowing them to navigate through a vast amount of information and so on. So I will anyway introduce more about recommendation system and its use in information overloading. So, but before I just go to recommendation system, let me shortly introduce ChatGPT. So, as you know, ChatGPT is a cutting-edge, advanced AI-driven language model that is introduced by OpenAI recently and offering versatile applications to enhance daily experience. Actually, ChatGPT is not itself a new technology. It is, in fact, a use of existing technology, but in a different way. The previous AI models concentrate in the developing and improving the models. But the new thing in ChatGPT is to use of data, how to use of data. So they manage to train a huge amount of data. So using existing models like neural networks and so on. So anyway, but just let me mention that after ChatGPT, there is a big shock in the world, from politics to scientific community, and people get confused. Is it it's a good thing or a bad thing for us? Because there is also some estimations that 300 million jobs can be lost by if the ChatGPT continue growth in this way. So this is a big fear. So this makes high-ranked people like President Biden, he just raised a warning that we should regulate the use of artificial intelligence. And also the UNESCO, they also have a breaking news warning about also artificial intelligence after 1,000 people from the technical community rise or signed a paper asking companies to just please calm down, reduce the research direction in this way. And also recently, we can see in Japan Times that even Japan there is, you see, in G7 this week, a G7 committee, they also discussed about the AI and its effect in the world, and they formed a working group. This working group will work to check how this AI and like ChatGPT and so on can affect the world. And also some cities in Japan, like Isukawa, becomes Japan first city to use ChatGPT for administration. So there is a mixed thing. There is a hope for improving administration, and there is a fear of this can also affect the social life and the way we work and the way people. So this is just a short introduction about ChatGPT and its effect. So now let me go. The second thing is this is about recommender systems. As I just mentioned before, we use computer now in almost our daily life activities. So from business or industrial applications, we use it, or social media, we use it, or entertainment applications, or shopping online, or video-oriented, or learning, or medical service, government service, and much more. So this is much be used in our daily life. Almost we have used it from our mobile, or from our computers. We use these applications. But the thing is that many people not aware is these applications, the provider, they have a built-in powerful AI brain working inside these applications. So the purpose of this brain is to analyze the user. Who is the user? And try to build a user profile for the user. The purpose of this is to get feedback to this user from the provider, service provider. Most of this service, we can get it for free. We don't pay. But there is a purpose. It is not a free. No one gave anything free in the world. So everything have a price. But we just pay the price in indirect way. For example, the feedback could be advertising. Most of these businesses that provides free service, because they have advertising that come to you. Most of advertising is tailored to you because of this one. So they try to, from your navigation, from your what you read, what you like, what you do, what you, for example, comment and so on, then they gather this information and get back to you. Either recommend the product to you, recommend some friends if it is a social media, and so on. So this AI brain actually is a kind of recommender system that connect users with data and build a user profile, and then get a suitable feedback tailored to you. Okay, then you get interested about some book recommendation or some movie recommendation or whatever kind of recommendation get back to you. So this is actually the recommendation system. So if I just give a simple definition of recommendation system, we can say it is intelligent decision support system that have important real-life application, as we just see, with a challenging process in information overloading. Because the purpose of information system is predictive value. This value can be the user profile, and then recommend resources. This recommendation is a short list from the huge information that exists. So you can get a short recommendation. This is a way to overcome the information overloading problem. So I get a most suitable or the top in the list of recommendation. And the most research in recommendation system is how to improve this short list of recommendation and make it fit with this specific user, because we use the same application, but we get different advertising, we get different recommendations, as you already experience in your daily life. So actually, recommendation system is interdisciplinary field because it work with different, research area, from computer science, data science, statistics, marketing, operation research, even psychology. Try to understand the user psychology. It also deploy many sophisticated machine learning, big data, deep learning, and other methods that operate at scale. And recently, I'm trying to integrate ChatGPT because I feel that ChatGPT, I'm just now start working. Even we have a project now with Roy Sensei in our cluster that we try also to investigate how to use ChatGPT in different things. So we try with Roy Sensei to use it in education. And I'm trying also to use it in recommendation system, but that is in early stage. We are just doing this research recently. So this is just from the technologies that used with recommendation system. And to see how recommendation system is important, we can see according to some research, it is a mission critical. It's more than 35% of Amazon sales comes because of their recommendation system. Also, more than 50% of LinkedIn connections comes because of the recommendation. And more than 80% of Netflix streamed hours comes from recommendation, which can save approximately $1 billion a year. For this is, a big amount of money for Netflix. So you can see many businesses rely actually in recommendation system and keep improving. So there is a lot of interest from industry in the academic research and a very active research area. And but of course, new technology like ChatGPT, if not integrated, I believe integration with, of course, it can replace recommender system, but I believe integration can make it more powerful. So that's what I'm trying to investigate now. If we take the recommendation techniques, so there is two personalized recommendation and non-personalized recommendation. That is a traditional style that is not based on averaging information and just like you write a recommendation or something to someone, that is not so interesting. The interesting is personalized recommendation. So this is the automatic, using automatic recommendation. And this is employed these main technologies like techniques like this is content-based collaborative. This is the most common things, especially this one. This is a number one in actual use is collaborative filtering. Then it comes next to content-based, and hybrid is a combination of this. So we can see that the companies in like Netflix, or they use a combination of this of these techniques, and of course the underlying techniques here. So there is this is, if you take the very low level, there is AI and machine learning, data science algorithms that is employed here. There is many of these that is employed in these techniques. So let me simply explain these two techniques, content-based and collaborative. Let me start by this one, and I will also just give introduction to this one. So the collaborative filtering, that is depends on community. So the idea, I can just give it in just a simple animation here. So assume there is some user, and this user likes some food, for example. So this person like this kind of food. So how collaborative filtering work? Collaborative filtering look for community. Among this community, who's a similar user to this one, who likes the same food, for example. This is a AI part here, that's machine learning algorithms try to detect among these. This could be 1 million or billion of users. Try to predict who is similar to this one. Find this person similar to this one who likes the same thing. Additionally, if this person likes some additional food, then this will be recommended to this one. That is exactly in a simple way. That is very simple. But that is a very simple way of explanation of collaborative filtering. So it is depends on community. It doesn't depend on the items or the things that the people like. Depends on the community. So check who is similar in the community, and then you can find if this is something more, then it can be recommended to this user. So that is about collaborative filtering. It has some problems, of course. The three common problems is a cold start problem. So there is a need to be enough other users, because if the number of users is not enough, so the company don't have enough database or enough customer, like new business and so on, this is called the start problem. And as far as the problem, if there are many items to be recommended, even there are many users, the user rating matrix is still a sparse matrix, and it is hard to find users that have rated the same items. The last one is first rater, that is cannot recommend an item that has not been previously rated. So no, there is a new item comes to the stock, like in this restaurant recommendation, a new food come to the menu. So no one rated before, no one knows about this one, so there is cannot be recommended. So if I take an example of collaborative filtering used in, for example, in Netflix, so let us see how the Netflix model works in this way. So the first is Netflix user subscribers around the world. So the Netflix users, so the Netflix system try to build a database from these users. So the movies watched, the rating of these movies, and so on. So this is building a database of user profiles. Then it comes to the machine learning model. So this is pre-processing the data, remove irrelevant data or not complete data can be removed and improve the data set, and then comes to the similarity computation to check this is a target user, this is a similar user, like I mentioned in the previous slides, to find who is among this user, this is represented this, and that is the new user. So how to find similarity here? Then after this similarity, it comes as a prediction. This is a recommendation system model. Predict is a top N list of movies that can be recommended to the target user. And finally, the top N recommendation comes to the target user. That is how the Netflix model works for collaborative filtering. This is a typical screenshot from my Netflix subscription, and you can see here, this is a top recommendation for me after, of course, they build my user profile, add it to the data set, and consider me as a target. And this is some of the recommended movies to me. So the second technique is content-based. In this technique, it doesn't depend on the crowd or collaborators. It depends on the contents of the item itself. Like if I talk about previous, it depends on the food. Before it depends on the user similarity. How this is, let us see also a simple animation to explain this one. Assume you read a book and you like this book, for example, about cooking book. You read a cooking book and you like this book. Then what happened? So the system will detect that you like this kind of cooking book. So among the existing millions or billions of books, it will find the similarity between items, not between users. So that's a bit complicated because it depends on the contents of the item itself. So find the similarity between items and will recommend to you a similar cookbook will be recommended to this one, and other titles like history books will not be recommended to the user. So that is exactly how the content is. So in this case, it depends on the content of what you read, not the crowd or what other people read or doing. So it has, of course, advantages and some disadvantages, like it's no need for cold start problem or sparse problem here, and no first rater problem, but it has some disadvantages because it requires to understand the contents, how this contents is meaningful for this user, and also the quality judgment will not be so high. So this is some of the issues related to this one. Let us take example of Amazon, for example, book recommendation system. So from Amazon pages that contains a lot of information about books and so on, the information will be extracted from these books and will be kept in a database. And then assume a new user come and this user start to navigate these pages, Amazon pages, start to browse the pages for books. Then during this browsing, so the machine learning will try to find what this person looking for and what he likes and so on, and will try to build the learner's here profile. So using, of course, information from the database and building the user profile, and then the predictor will use the information in the database and the user profile and will recommend a short list of items to this user. That is how the Amazon works for recommendation using content-based recommendation. So here, as you see, there is no dependency on crowd, like we see in the Netflix example, depends on the user's crowd, but here is depends on the content of this, what you are doing, the contents of the books. So the other one is a hybrid one. So the hybrid one is simply a combination of the techniques, especially more is about collaborative filtering and content-based filtering. So both of these techniques usually join together to work to produce the a hybrid recommendation system. The way to do this can be done in different ways. So it can be, if you have two existing systems and you want to combine them. I have 5 minutes, so I have to go quickly. So that's just any way to join these together. And just some consideration when we just talk about recommendation system, we just consider, first we have to consider the objectives that we want to do and accuracy of prediction for top-end recommendation, which technique we should employ. There is many different techniques, or what kind of algorithms that we have to select, what type of data that we are using, and which method we are, and some problems like I just mentioned. This is important to consideration in building. So I will skip this one that is about traditional and the multi-criteria recommendation. So the traditional recommendation, just to say, we are interested about overall recommendation. So we have users here and we have movies, and so the similarity between users here can be checked to find the missed values of the overall recommendation. In the multi-criteria, the recommendation is based on not only overall recommendation, but other specific parts. If you take movies like action, visual effect, story detection, so you have many ratings for the movie, and we are interested about this rating in addition to overall rating. So this is just some formalization of the problem. And this is some of our results that we already get for multi-criteria recommendation system. So, and that is, we have improved the existing recommendation by some level. And this is, we did experiment with different data sets. So if I just mention the data sets we used the data sets from a movie. Sorry, this is first is Yahoo Movie, and this is data set to contain 26 million rating from about 300,000 users with about 50,000 movies we used in our research. We also used the experiment our model in TripAdvisor data set, and this data set contains 700,000 reviews of 2,000 hotels worldwide. And this is comparison with other existing research, but unfortunately, I have no time to explain about future research direction. So, but anyway, Society 5 was proposed and the fifth science technology basic plan as a future society that Japan should go through. So the important here will be about AI, and the big data will play important role in this one. So this is just some research ideas about how recommendation systems can help in this society. More importantly, how to use the deep learning and knowledge graph, reinforcement learning, and the newly ChatGPT to enhance the work of recommendation systems to serve the Society 5. So this is just additional information about the future research plan. So that is no time to explain, unfortunately. So that's just to skip the recommendation of reinforcement learning, and that is just the overall. So we have to build, that is the goal, to build the explainable recommendation system that is dynamic, transparent, efficient, and scalable. That is will lead to user satisfaction and trust on recommendation systems in Society 5. The technology to be employed is currently we investigating this. Additionally, we try to also integrate ChatGPT to be included in this one. So this is what we are trying to do recently. And just let me, conclusion, but thank you comes before conclusion, before open or close. Okay, just recommendation systems are intelligent decision support systems that deal with problem of information overloading, and it's widely used in many real life applications in e-business, social media, education, e-learning, e-health, entertainment, and much more. There are many challenges to build an efficient, large scale, and flexible recommendation systems. Recommendation systems can be handled using advanced techniques such as deep learning, knowledge graph, reinforcement learning, and ChatGPT. It's very active research that attracts the attention of both academia and industry. That's all from me, and thank you very much for your attention. And I hope I didn't take any additional time.